Hey everyone, it's Brian over at CalHomeCo Construction. We are here to talk about some things you should consider before we kick off your project. So quick agenda is the first thing we'll talk about is SDG&E and do they or do they not need to get involved with your project and what that might look like. The second is going to be solar integration. Do you currently have solar? And do you need it on your new structure, ADU, custom home, whatever you're intending to build? Third will be interior and exterior design and the benefits of that. And then we'll also go into low voltage runs and what that means and why it's important to look into that during the construction process. So we'll go ahead and get started here. SDG&E, probably one of the first things we want to consider. This is something that we have conversations with, even our prospective clients. Whether they decide to work with us or not, we know how important it is to get this process started. So we actually talk to them on our initial site walk and say, hey, let's check out your solar panel. Let's see what size solar amperage you have coming to your home currently. And do we think that's going to be enough to support the new structure or the ADU that we're going to be putting on your property? The important reason for this to get started right away is because SDG&E's timelines can vary quite a bit depending on the time of year. And we just definitely don't want SDG&E's input on the project and what's required to hold up the start times or delay the project in any way, which we've seen happen on many projects in the past. One of the first questions you're going to want to ask yourself is, what size is your current panel? How many amperages does it have? It's fairly common to see older homes with 100 or less amps going to the home if it's under 1,200 square feet or around 1,500 square feet, which is fine for the current home. But now we're talking about adding 1 or 2 ADUs on the property. So you're going to be drawing a lot more power and you are going to need a panel upgrade. So how we kind of figure that out is just based on past projects that we've done recently, we kind of understand what the draw might be. There is a process called a load calculation, which an electrician will do throughout the process of the project just to make sure that everything is covered. But SDG&E ultimately is going to be the ones that have to come out. They're going to do an inspection of the property, look at what you're intending to build, and then they're actually the ones that will advise us on the required amperage for the project. Now, the important part about this is actually just getting into their queue in line for them to come actually out to your site. This can take anywhere between 2 to 8 weeks, depending on the period of time that you apply. And that can really delay a process, especially if you're trying to get started as soon as you have permits, or if your permits are only a few weeks away, or if they're in issuance. So we want to try to line this up as quickly as possible. And this is a process that we actually help you with. We get on a virtual call with you, and we walk you step by step on how to get into the queue. And that way we can just make sure that there are no hiccups or delays on SDG&E's end, and we make sure that we have all of your utility needs lined up before the project even kicks off. The second thing we want to talk about and to consider is solar integration. Solar integration, as you know, it's always sunny here in San Diego, and solar is a big key and a big push by the city to help reduce some of the demands of usage that San Diego as a city uses. There is currently a requirement that you add solar onto any new structures. There are some exemptions to having to put it on, like a garage conversion may not require any of it. Typically, it's new structures or new ADUs that fall above the 750 square foot mark. But something to consider is if you already have solar panels and those solar panels can cover some of the load for the new structure as well, then you may not be required to add additional panels. That is something that you would want to talk to an electrician about early on. A lot of our electricians, our subs do solar. So they're going to be the ones doing the load calculations. They're going to let you know if your current panel system can support the new habitable space, or if you're going to need to add additional panels to meet the requirements. And then also some of your designers or architects are going to have a good understanding on what's going to be required or what's not required. But definitely something you want to think about early on. If we can get ahead of this, there's ways for us to kind of hide some of the lines into the structure so you don't have exposed pipes or anything like that. It just gives your exterior finish a little bit cleaner of a look. So we like to make sure that we start having those conversations, and we work with a lot of great solar companies and I'm more than happy to make those introductions. The third thing I like to bring up that's an important part of every process is your interior or exterior design of your home. There are some architects that go into some pretty heavy details when it comes to your interior finishes, and they may even put a spec sheet together for you or help you build with that, or have interior design in-house. If so, great, take advantage of that. If not, a lot of the times we're going off 2D drawings that are a bunch of different lines, and we don't really know exactly what's going to be put in the home. So how we handle that is we create allowances for items based on a preliminary conversation that we have to get an understanding of what types of materials. Do you want tile flooring throughout the home or ADU? Are we going to do some luxury vinyl plank? These items can change the cost of the project quite a bit. And there are lots of little decisions to be made throughout the process. So having an interior designer or a designer to help you select some of these items or all of these items, pros to that is obviously it's going to save you a lot of headache and a lot of heavy decisions. A lot of interior designers will work with you based on like dream boards or photos on the internet that you want it to look like and how you want to create your space. They know how to work within a budget, and they're very familiar with working with contractors. So it makes the process very seamless, and it actually keeps the project moving because we're able to have someone aid us make those selection items and those decisions much quicker. And also a lot of them have savings that they can provide on the materials because of relationships that they've built. And they also have really great ways in understanding on source and lead times for those materials and when we need to order those in order to have them on site ready to install for the project needs. Last thing I want to talk about is low voltage. This is going to be something that is not outdated. It really just depends on your wants and needs for the property. Cable, phone, internet, smart home capabilities. These are all low voltage wires that are going to be coming in and being provided by a third-party supplier, whether it's Spectrum or AT&T, whatever third-party services your area. But definitely something that we want to have a conversation with early on so that we know exactly what we need to tie in into the building in order to support your wants and needs for the home. So if you do want, old cable lines, there's a lot of smart TVs now, so you don't see too much of that, but some people want to have the cable line, landline capabilities. I've seen a lot of people going back to that as well. So these are just conversations, and one of the last things we would want to talk to you about before we button up the drywall and leave something out that you potentially wanted. Hope this was helpful. This was just to really give some information on things to consider. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me at brian@calhomeco.com. That's BRIAN at CALHOMECO.com. Thank you so much.